What would you say to those young people who want you to continue to be their champion, but might not think that you're going far enough or fast enough on climate?
Well, first of all, we're going faster than anyone's ever gone. We're going to need fossil fuels for at least the next 10 years. It's not like tomorrow we can turn it all off,
Okay.
number one. And so we're going to need fossil fuel. But what we have to do is I've said no more drilling off our ocean. I mean, the whole range. But there has to be the ability to generate some energy. But we can get rid of coal much more rapidly. And by the way, for example, I was up in Massachusetts, one of the largest coal-producing electric facilities in the nation. Well, guess what? We hooked it up to wind technology. And so now, and it's cheaper. We can do solar, we can do wind cheaper than we can do fossil fuels. So it's a matter of transitioning, but it's not like you can cut everything off immediately.
You obviously understand the existential threat that young people feel when it comes to climate.
Sure.
How do you balance that with the immediate concerns of babysitting Congress or getting 51 or 60 votes on some of this?
Well, look, I've been I want to be careful here.
Sure, yeah.
I've been relatively successful
Right.
in working across the aisle. There is a MAGA Republican portion of the party. It makes up about a third of the Republican Party. But there's a lot of people in the Republican Party who are traditional conservative Republicans that you can deal with. But, the gentlewoman from the state of Georgia and the mountains up there and others, Gates, and anyway.
That's very diplomatic. I would have used different language. But
there's an existential question that the Republican Party is going to have to face, and it's going to determine what happens in the next couple of years. But my focus is just stay focused on the things that matter. We've got to deal with the climate. We've got to deal with civil liberties and voting rights. We've got to deal with issues relating to economic growth. Look, in this period, I inherited, I think it's fair to say, a gigantic mess economically and politically.
Of course.
We've created 12 million new jobs since I've been president, more than any president's created in 4 years. We've generated so much growth. We've created 800,000 manufacturing jobs with the bill that became a bipartisan bill that no one thought could happen. So there's so much going on that the country's hungry to move, I think, and I'm confident we can do it.
I wanted to ask you a slightly different question. So my partner Josh and I have been engaged for the last 5 years, which really only means that every auntie and uncle that I have is beyond disappointed that there hasn't been a wedding yet. But Cardi B is going to marry us, apparently officiate our wedding, which would be nice. But my question for you, Mr. President, is you codified support for same-sex marriage and interracial marriages like ours. I'm curious what your evolution was like on marriage equality and what the federal government might be able to do to protect LGBTQ Americans, especially trans kids who are dealing with all these regressive state laws that are popping up right now.
I can remember exactly where my epiphany was.
Okay.
I hadn't thought much about it, to tell you the truth, and I was a senior in high school, and my dad was dropping me off. I remember about to get out of the car, and I looked to my right, and two well-dressed men in suits kissed each other. I mean, they gave each other a kiss. And then one looked like he was heading to the DuPont building, and one looked like he headed to the Hercules Corporation building. And I'll never forget, I turned and looked at my dad. He said, "Joey, it's simple. They love each other. It's simple." No, I'm not joking. It's simple. They love each other. And it's never been, it's just that simple. It doesn't matter whether it's same-sex or a heterosexual couple. They should be able to be married. What is the problem? So listen to your auntie and your uncle. Get married. Do it now. Don't wait. Transgender kids is a really harder thing. What's going on in Florida is, as my mother would say, close to sinful. I mean, it's just terrible what they're doing. It's not like, you know, a kid wakes up one morning and says, you know, I decided I want to become a man, or I want to become a woman, or I want to change. I mean, what are they thinking about here? They're human beings. They love, they have feelings, they have inclinations that are, I mean, it just to me is, I don't know, it's cruel. And the way we do it is we make sure we pass legislation like we passed on same-sex marriage. You mess with that, you're breaking the law, and you're going to be held accountable.
Thank you, sir. I also can tell that, like, some auntie or my mom probably texted you beforehand if you're trying to pressure me too.
No, but get moving, man. I don't want to hear you can't do it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it very much.